Whew, I had to get my tea for this one. I didn't want to talk about this. I didn't really want to talk about this, if I'm being honest, if I'm keeping it 1,000. But for this series, I felt like it was very important to include this topic into the mix. So, we're going to go ahead and get into the uncomfortable truth about growing on YouTube. Okay, let's talk about it. Now, what I'm going to be covering in this video is really a few things that I have seen from watching some other videos, and also touching on my experience, because if you didn't know, this is not my first YouTube channel. This is just my first time starting YouTube vlogging and doing Vlogmas. So I have had a couple YouTube channels in the past. Okay, more than a couple YouTube channels in the past, and I have been monetized on YouTube before as well on two separate channels. So I like to think that I know a little bit what I'm talking about. Okay. So, uh, if you are trying to grow on YouTube, then this video hopefully will bring you some clarity and some insight from my perspective and just some of the things that I've seen. I do have some notes here. So if you see me looking down, I'm checking my notes, make sure I'm staying on task. Okay. And this is part two, video two, in a four-part video series. So if you did not watch the first video, I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in the description, and you can go ahead and check that out. If you are not already subscribed, definitely go ahead and subscribe, turn on your notifications if you would like to see part three and four of this little series that I decided to do. Okay, so we got to talk about, the reality of content creation. And honestly, you're going to see some hype and you're going to see the reality, because right now it is trending on YouTube to start a YouTube channel. It is. I mean, I did a couple videos like this during Vlogmas as well. And that was really coming from a space of the fact that I had YouTube channels in the past, and being distracted, life, whatever, whatever. I no longer use those channels. Those channels, in my mind, they're over with. I was thinking about potentially reviving one of them, but ultimately this is where I'm at now. This is the new vibe. This is where I'm at, okay? So, one of the myths about YouTube is that YouTube is easy. Now, in the previous video I did talk about when you do something you love, and I mean, it's a quote, I'm sure you've heard it. When you're doing what you love, it feels like you're not working, right? Because you genuinely love to do it. But just because you love to do it doesn't mean that it's not difficult, doesn't mean it's not hard, doesn't mean it's not challenging. For a lot of people that are thinking about starting YouTube, don't let this deter you, because with anything in life, everybody has a learning stage, everybody has a beginning stage. Even though this is not my first YouTube rodeo, I'm basically starting over from scratch. I'm doing things differently. I'm a different person now than I was in the other times that I started YouTube channels. I have a different perspective, I have a different vision. I'm open to seeing things in a different type of way. Like, there's so many things about me that are not the same as the person I once was when I was doing YouTube, right? So, YouTube right now has definitely come through. Okay. YouTube has so many things that they're doing in regards to the algorithm and in regards to resources that they have for creators, because ultimately YouTube does want you to succeed as a creator. Because when you're out here posting videos and people are watching your videos and liking your videos and watching them, excuse me, that's great for YouTube, because it's increasing the watch time. It's for every social media platform. That's how it works. Okay. Uh, from someone that has a marketing background, this is how YouTube works. This is how Instagram works, TikTok, da 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 da. The purpose of the social media network, because it is a free platform. It's free in the sense of you're not paying money to be on the platform, but you're paying with your attention, the time that you're spending on the platform, and you're paying with your information that you put on the platform. And that's why these algorithms are trained to pay attention to what captures your attention, so that way they can sell your attention to advertising, you know, business owners that, excuse me, whew, I need more tea. Sorry, y'all. I don't think I'm even going to edit that out, but that's basically what it is. Okay. But you didn't come here for a masterclass in algorithms. So thinking that you can post 1, 2 videos on YouTube and blow up is a very ambitious thought. But I'm someone that strongly believes that everybody has a time in their life where beautiful things, miraculous things can happen if they're determined. So I'm not saying, oh, if you post videos, you're not going to blow up, da da da. But at the same time, there is a message that I'll never forget. When I was younger, this church I used to go to, this pastor preached a message, and he said, there is a difference between faith and foolishness. Okay. So at the end of the day, to think you're going to come on YouTube and the first video you post is going to blow up and you're going to get monetized is very ambitious. Am I saying it can't happen? No. Am I saying that it's highly likely that it will happen? No. Am I, you know what I mean? It's just, you're not, you don't know, right? But ultimately the thing is when you come on YouTube and you're creating content on YouTube, although there are resources in place for you to succeed on YouTube, thinking that you're just going to come here and blow up on YouTube right out the gate, it's an ambitious thought. And unfortunately, that is not the reality for a lot of people. So some people, when they come on and that's their thought and that's their reality, what ends up happening is they get discouraged and then they decide that they don't want to do YouTube anymore. And it's just like when you go to the gym, you know, especially it's January, a lot of people, New Year's resolutions, they're thinking, yo, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get that body, yada, yada. But then by the time March rolls around, the gym is basically empty. Also from experience, as I used to work in the fitness industry and I used to see it all the time. Okay. Beginning of the year, stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of new membership paperwork was coming through our office. And then as the months went by, that stack got thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. Right. So it's January has such a hype of new beginnings and things like that. Right. So obviously, right now, any type of content on YouTube that is talking about newness, starting over, reinventing yourself is more likely to be pushed. But then also, people that are on YouTube talking about life, because, and the thing is, I'm saying these things and I'm like thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, that's so funny because I've been literally talking about starting over since November and the type of content that I was creating. But I wasn't creating it in the sense of like, oh, the new year's coming, I better talk about this. No, it was just instinctively, that's the word, instinctively where I was as a person and what I was experiencing, and authentically coming through and sharing those thoughts and those visions on the truth and the reality of what I was experiencing, where a lot of other people would have been experiencing that as well. Now, even though I posted those types of videos, I didn't blow up overnight. You see what I'm saying? Now, there are other people who posted those types of videos and blew up overnight, right? Everybody has their own time and their own season for growth and elevation. So I'm saying all of that to say this: YouTube growth tactics are cool, some of them. uh, but would I devote time and energy to a tactic as opposed to devoting time and energy to learning what helps to grow the channel by way of researching and learning, and also in the process grow as myself as an individual, because platforms change year by year by year. Platforms change, algorithms change, the world change, everything changes. And being able to learn and to also discover a formula that works for me, that is also still very authentic to me. So that when I show up on YouTube and I create content, I'm not sitting here creating content solely for the purpose of likes and views and subscribes and all of that stuff, which all of that stuff is fantastic and it's wonderful. And it can be very validating and it can be very, confirming of like, yeah, we're on the right path. But if you are here solely for the main reason of likes, subscribes, and all of that, with no intention to provide value, with no intention to do the things that you truly do enjoy doing, the things that you love, the things that light you up, you might be in for a rude awakening. Okay. So ultimately, what I really want to encourage you when it comes to growing on YouTube is to really think about the sustainability of your channel, the vision you have for your channel, the long term idea, platform that you're trying to build. And I mean, obviously, you can pivot, you can change as individuals. We grow. Like I said, I've grown over time, and I'm excited to be here at this time and season of where I am to be able to share that with you here on YouTube. And I understand for myself, and I hope you understand as well, that quick fixes might feel good. It might be a little adrenaline rush in the moment, but it's really the long term commitment that's really going to get you through. Do you know how many of your favorite YouTubers, especially YouTubers that are blowing up right now in the season because they are posting seasonal content on YouTube, that some of them started YouTube 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, ago, or some of them even longer. There's so many stories of YouTubers now who have huge influence and large followings who, when they first came onto YouTube, they were still refining their craft. They were still discovering the type of content they wanted to create. And that's what it's all about. It's all about coming on, trying something new, and doing content that inspires you, that lifts you up, that encourages, that whatever it is that you feel called to create. Maybe you're called to do informational and educational content, kind of like this video I'm doing. Maybe you're called to do entertainment content. And, I feel called to do a little bit of that as well. And it's a time and a season. And it's just being yourself and showing up as yourself and doing the things that bring you joy, that you are over a long term going to want to continue to show up for and to do, as opposed to trying to figure out what quick fixes you can do to try to get your channel to blow up. If at the end of the day, your only focus is on blowing up, you kind of lose the joy of the experience. And that's what I really want to help you to see today, is that it's really about the joy of the experience. It's really about the joy of the experience. Because some people, they get so caught up in wanting to get monetized so they can start earning that cash flow. And I can understand that it's a challenging time for a lot of people financially. Uh, Inflation, cost of living, all that good stuff. I get it. I hear you. I understand. And even there, and that's why right now for me being here filming this content, like, it brings me so much joy because I understand and I realize I have so much tools and resources available that I can actually help people with, even when it comes to finances. I'm in the financial industry. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that I can give, and that's why I was so excited to get back onto YouTube. But when I first started doing Vlogmas, that was not my intention. Like, all these things that are popping up in my head, they were not my intention. Because a few months back, when I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to build this and I need to do that and I need to do that. And I kept thinking in my head, yeah, I'm going to create this video and I'm going to do that. And ooh, I just got goosebumps, y'all, because y'all don't understand. There's a difference. There's a difference when you come from a place of truly, genuinely wanting to help people, truly, genuinely wanting to express your heart, your soul, your mind to other people, to connect with people, as opposed to like, oh, I'm trying to do this because I want to get monetized. I want to, like, it's a different vibe. It's a different energy. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, as I mentioned in the other video, chasing numbers is really just going to have you in a state of frustration, and you're really playing into a lack mentality as opposed to if you're like genuinely coming in to help. And you know what? Even some of the people that have been posting about like, oh, YouTube's paying people, this is what you got to do, da da da, this that. And there's some people that are out there and they're so passionate about what they're speaking about, and that is why they're excelling. Because yeah, of course they know like, oh, I can do this and I can earn income there and da 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 da, and that's exciting for them. And the fact that they can do that and then they can help other people do that, and they're like, yo, this just happened to me, like I didn't even know that it was going to be this easy, or like, you know what I mean? Because they're walking in their purpose and they are genuinely wanting to connect and to help people. And you can see that, like, let's be real, if you go to somebody's video and you don't feel like this person is really trying to help you or bring value to you, you may not stick around too long. It is what it is. Furthermore, and this is a topic that I'm going to bring up in a future video, is like attention spans. Most people right now, because of TikTok, Instagram, short, all this short form content, you know, some people they don't even have the mental capacity anymore to actually sit down and watch a video longer than 60 seconds because it's quick fix, quick fix, quick fix, quick fix all the time. So there's so many things in the reality of what we're experiencing that when you go into a video, you want to go into that video and you want to feel like that video is speaking to you. You want to feel like that video is giving you what you came to see, right? And that's a whole nother aspect of YouTube. Clicking to the video and actually getting the value of the out of the video is one thing, but it's the titles, it's the thumbnails, like that's a whole other thing. So yes, YouTube has a ton of resources right now, like inspiration tab. Ooh, let me tell you about the inspiration tab. The inspiration tab will help you get all your thoughts all the way together, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And that to me is easy mode, because I feel like that's the hardest part of YouTube sometimes, is being able to come on and fully have your thoughts aligned to share what you're sharing, especially if the type of video format you're doing is like talking head videos. And that's kind of the type of content I create a lot of and have been creating a lot of for very many years. And that's why I really wanted to try Vlogmas, because it allowed me to create a different type of content than I usually create. And I absolutely loved that. And it was a great learning experience. So, anyways, let's move along. Ultimately, you do want to get subscribers, but you don't want to trap yourself into the mentality of, I'm going to do this little quick fix. I'm going to jump on this trend because I want subscribers. Oh, that's what's trending over there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Versus saying, what is it that I really feel like creating today? What is it that I can create that can help somebody today? Because once you shift your mindset to think of things in that type of way, you allow yourself the opportunity to have that freedom in what you create. Versus if you're chasing every trend and then you see the subscribers going up, but the subscribers only came there for the trend that you were chasing, and you ain't even really interested in the trend that you did to get those subscribers. It's like, are you doing this for a long-term gain, or are you doing it for a short-term gain? Okay. And of course, that type of stuff, it does impact your channel health over time. So like if you're out here trying to chase every quick fix, you're trying to chase every trend, even to the point where some people out here paying for subscribers. Mhm. I wouldn't do it. Mind you, there is a new feature right now where YouTube allows you to promote your videos, and that's kind of like a fast track. But honestly, if you have videos that aren't performing well organically, and this is advice from a marketing perspective, if you don't have content that you have posted that is already performing organically, I personally would not put money behind that, but that's just me. Okay. So you really got to think about how all these decisions that you make actually impact the growth and the health of your channel in the long run, which a lot of people aren't really talking about that. So these are things you got to be thinking, because if you get caught up in the sensationalism of it all, you might actually end up on a path or on a road that you didn't necessarily want to be on. And even though you've had a lot of growth and success in your numbers, might end up now being in a place where your content kind of plateaus and it's not going nowhere. and you're not getting those same benefits as you were getting from before, or you end up going through a process of burnout. But I touched on a lot of that stuff in the first video. So if you haven't watched it, like I said, it will be in the description. So moving along, another thing too, quality versus quantity is a big thing when it comes to YouTube. Now, right now, I'm still kind of in my testing phase of YouTube. So I spoke a little bit about this in the last video that I did create. So I'm in a testing phase. I'm trying not to get caught up in vanity metrics, and I am just testing, trying to see what works, and also just wanting to put a lot of content that I had created, even content that was just sitting on my phone that I created and never posted. And I wanted to start putting out a lot of that stuff. So that is something that you have to think about as well, is like, is it better to make a quality piece of content, or are you just rushing through content just to say that you have content? Because the viewer is going to be able to tell ultimately, because one thing about energy, it don't lie. You feel me? So also just focusing on the metrics that do matter in your content, because analytics are important, and it is important to look at your analytics, review your analytics, find out what's working, find out what's not working. That's really going to be beneficial for you in the long run, so you can continue to do more of the things that you enjoy doing and that your audience loves, but also not to the point where you are like trapped by your subscribers at the same time. I talk a little bit about niching in a video that I did during Vlogmas. So I'll have to go ahead and drop that down in the description as well, because that might be helpful or beneficial for you watching this as well. But ultimately, it's all about building genuine connections and engagement with your content. And that is by you showing up, talking about things that you're actually excited to talk about, talking about, sorry, talking about things that you're actually passionate about, and talking about things that add value to your community. Okay. Because ultimately, being on this platform is all about connecting. That's why it's called social media, right? It's all about connecting and building those genuine connections, not just about numbers. And that's another thing. So many people, they look at their subscriber count, they're like, oh, it's like a number. But honestly, when the tables are turned, you don't want to look at somebody and say, oh, this person only sees me as a number. You don't want somebody to look at you and be like, oh, yeah, that's just another number. Because ultimately, the main thing that I think a lot of people are not realizing, when you see those numbers, they translate as numbers to you when you look at your subscribers, but those are real people. As long as you've not paid for your subscribers, okay? Those are real people. So it doesn't matter if there's 1, 10, 30, 100, 1,000, a million. They're people. They're people, just like you and I. So that is something that you really got to consider through this whole journey. And I think a lot of people forget that, and then they don't end up building authentic relationships, and they don't take the time to learn from the community and interact with the community. And that can definitely hinder the long-term sustainability of your channel as well. So just a few things to consider. And this is another thing that I meant to mention earlier that I didn't, and it goes along the lines of like people who are paying for subscribers, just like the subscribe for subscribe thing. I used to see it a lot on Instagram, follow for follow, things like that. Ultimately, if you have people coming to your channel, and the main purpose and the reason that you guys are subscribing to each other's channel is to help each other grow, to get the subscriber count for monetization, let me tell you something. That is not beneficial for your channel. Thankfully, YouTube did say that your subscriber count isn't necessarily what dictates anything for the most part of your content. They've kind of stepped back on the relevance of subscriber number in order to get your content pushed or seen. But let's really think about it, y'all. If you have people subscribing to your channel for the main purpose to help you get your numbers up, but they're not actually interested in the type of content you're creating. Now, when you go and you create that content and you push it out to your audience, especially if that little publish to your subscribers checkbox is checked off, and they're pushing it to people that really don't care about what you're posting, how do you think that's going to benefit your channel, especially as someone that is just getting started on the platform? Because if they push it to your subscribers and your subscribers don't watch it, don't interact with it, and they're subscribed to your channel, that tells YouTube, oh, this video must suck. That's what it does. And that's why, even for some people, and I talked about this, I saw another channel that had spoken about this. I can't remember her name right now, but I'm going to probably put it somewhere here, uh, or maybe in the description. And I commented on her channel because I was like, what she was saying was true, because it was like a lot of people have been talking about this growth hack that apparently, oh, you're moving. When I started back through Vlogmas, I was trying everything. So I'm like, okay, let me just try to see. There's a lot of new things on YouTube. I'm going to test these settings. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, because I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to understand. And, you start at the bottom, you build yourself back up. Like I said, a lot of things have changed. Well, a lot of people are saying to uncheck publish to subscriber feed and notify subscribers, or publish to notification feed and notify subscribers. And I thought, that doesn't really make sense, but I'm like, let me go ahead and try it. And that right there is not beneficial, especially if you have a small subscriber count, because then the main people that are subscribed to your channel are subscribing because they're interested in seeing what you are putting out. So if you do that, then they're not going to see it. Then YouTube is pushing it to people on YouTube that don't know you very well, that haven't had any connection with you, that hasn't watched any of your content. So the likelihood of them clicking into your content is less likely. Like, your subscribers are supposed to be your real ones that want to see the kind of content that you post, and that's why they subscribe to you in the first place. Now, I understand during Vlogmas, and I was saying in the comment conversation I was having back and forth, it's like during Vlogmas, I could understand if I'm posting every single day and these individuals that had subscribed to my channel was like, homegirl, I don't want to see you every single day, and I didn't want to annoy them and blow up their thing every single day, then I would uncheck that, because I'm like, oh, I don't want my subscribers to get overwhelmed. But I'm actually so happy I started with Vlogmas, even though they always say vlog is not the best way to start a channel, but that's another topic for another day. Because the people that subscribed to me during Vlogmas, they subscribed to me with the expectation of seeing me pop up on their feed every single day. And I put my own foot in my own mouth by unclicking it. And I think I only did it for a couple videos, but you see what I'm saying? It's like they subscribed because they wanted to see me every single day. Vlogmas is an every single day thing. So the fact that they subscribed and I'm not going to publish when I subscribe to my notification feed, does that make sense? I feel like I'm going on a whole rant and tangent with this, but I'm just really like trying to make it make sense. So the only thing that I could say for that is, like, if you are someone that's creating content and then you're like, okay, you know what? I've been creating a lot of content about food, but today I'm going to talk about my beauty routine. Now, I can understand why you would go ahead and unclick publish to feed, especially if you are trying to stick to a particular niche, because then all the people that subscribe to you for food are probably like, what the heck? I don't care about no beauty routine. I subscribed for food, right? So, anyways, I just wanted to give you a case kind of study with that to kind of show you what I mean in that regards. So, anyways, that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say on this. That's all I got to say on this. So ultimately, when it comes to growing on YouTube, long story short, do it with purpose, do it with intention, do it for the long game, as Gary Vee always says. And yeah, that's all I got. See you next time. Oh, wait, that's not all I got. That was so close. So, anyways, this is the outro. Gotta let y'all know. Gotta let y'all know. Uh, the Royal Court is coming. It is going to be a community outside of YouTube where we can parlay and y'all get to know me a little bit better. We can connect with other like-minded individuals. Right now, I am working on a little bit of a challenge. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead, drop in the comments that you're interested in learning more about the Royal Court. And that way I can send you the information. The challenge is going to be beginning on January 21st of 2025. I'm not sure if it's a challenge that I will have running continuously, but this is going to be my first time doing a challenge in a long time, and I'm very excited. And I would absolutely love if you joined me on this journey. So definitely share in the comments if you'd like more information. And all the other information you need will always be in the description box. If you have not already subscribed and you would like more information about the next two videos in this series, definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell so you will be notified whenever I post another video. See why it's important to tick that publish, the notification feed in subscribers? All right, I'm done for real, y'all. See you next time. Peace.